Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here to announce that we are petitioning, myself and my party, the National Economic Empowerment Dialogue, are petitioning against the Electoral Commission for the shambolic manner in which they handled the recent, especially signature verification, because they actually didn't handle it. It was ceded to security officials. Now, 5 years ago and all previous years, signature verification was a very transparent process in which either the candidate or his agent sat there and saw how they were verifying the signatures and knew why they had fallen short. But now it was taken over by SFC and by ISO, and it was done in a secure room, and the top Electoral Commission officials were not allowed in that room where it was. So it was a process in which they were sieving who they wanted on the ballot and who they didn't want. And the only means by which they could do that is by so-called signature verification. So we had issues because after we presented our first signatures, we were told that we were 26 districts short. So we went and presented 40 districts to top up the 26 districts. But as you can see in some of the documents that I've shown you here, in 14 separate districts, we presented 150 signatures, and they claimed that 0 passed. And when I complained and said that how can 0 pass out of 150, not in just one district, but in all of them, the explanation is that all the 150 people who I presented had already endorsed another candidate. I told them that is not statistically possible. Even if it is what I was intending to do, even if I wanted to go and find those who had endorsed other candidates, I could not achieve it. Even if you gave me $10 million to go and get 150 signatures, only of those who have already endorsed other candidates, I could not achieve it. So how is it that in 14 separate districts, I present 150 and 0 pass? So what happened is clearly they did not verify. They just got them, threw them away, and kept on putting districts less. Now, when I made that complaint and I became a bit loud, that was on Tuesday, the first day of presidential nominations. When I became a bit loud, I did not add any more signatures. But what happened is they started adding districts which I had completed. First, I went from 90 to 91, and from 91, they generated a report at 2:51 p.m. saying I was at 97 and I needed only 9 extra signatures from one district to have completed. But they gave me that report at 5:30 when they had closed down. The last thing they did was give me a report saying you're left with 9 signatures. Then they all closed down and left and went. And so I'd already realized by that time that it was not about signatures. It was about making sure that certain people are not on the ballot. And unfortunately, there are those who are supposed to be on the ballot and those who are not supposed to be on the ballot. Because as we were waiting for signatures, there were people waiting for the verification. There are people whom I know who were there still looking for signatures, calling people to come and get signatures to top up. And while they are still at it, they come and give him a certificate. You've been cleared. Go for nomination. That was on the last day of nomination. Now, me who had already submitted, they waited until 5:30 when they had closed down in Reza. They had closed down at Electoral Commission. Then they, took off. Then they gave me saying I'm left with 9 signatures when they knew it was too late. The point is this. Electoral Commission ceded the authority of signature verification to security organs. And now this is Mulembe Mupia. This is a new regime. Because we've known how the old regime of that old man operates. But this is something new, and we are sensing something new. And there are certain people whom they did not want on the ballot. And by Tuesday night, I realized that I was one of those who were not supposed to be on the ballot. So they played me out for time, so bit by bit, and made sure they give me all the information at such a time when it would be impossible for me to do anything about it. So I've presented to you here a petition, which we are going to do, which is going to lead into a lawsuit. Because we cannot let such impunity go on, because I'm speaking for myself, but there are dozens of other people who suffered similar frustrations out there when they presented signatures and the verification process showed that they were not interested in verifying their signatures, and they fell short. So one person fell short by 1 signature for the whole day, and they would not take that extra signature. So these are some of the things that happened there. So the people who are on the ballot were those who were chosen to be on the ballot. And by the way, the tender for doing the ballot was already done before, and the number of people who were supposed to be on the ballot was already known before. So all this process was fake. So now we are going to petition the Electoral Commission, and we are going to fight. We are going to fight because in the expectation of those SFC people and what, we are supposed to shut up and keep quiet and ride it to the sunset, and that would be the end of us. It is not going to be the end of us. It is just the beginning. We are not going to be squeezed like that. There are rules by which things follow, and we have done this before, and we are not going to just lay down our tools and let this impunity pass. So that is the bottom line. Everything else is in this petition, which I have given you a copy of. What I mean by that is that I have stood against the old man before, and I know his style of doing things is he will not stop you from being on the ballot. He will just make sure that Biabakama gives you 0.1% to demoralize you. He likes you to go and spend your money campaigning, yet they have already decided what they are going to give you at the last presidential. That's his style. Now this one, so Mao was not joking when he said the transition is already happening in rooms that matter. This one was clearly Muhoozi. This was clearly SFC. This is not Museveni, this is Muhoozi, this is SFC. They are the ones who took over the thing. They are the ones who, if it was typically Museveni, they wouldn't mind all of us being on the ballot. It would just be, Biabakama would decide who gets what, you see, because they are not going to be there at the tallying. But now this is different. And in previous ones, where it was Museveni, the signature verification was a very open process. I did it in 2021 as an independent candidate. And you would put your signatures there, and they put them through the system, and they tell you why this one has been disqualified. This one already endorsed somebody. This one endorsed somebody. This one is not a voter in that place. This one is not a voter there. And then they show you right there, transparently. But now, when I was making my complaints to the head of election management at Electoral Commission, I was told that even he does not have the authority to enter where they are verifying signatures. What kind of system is that? Why does the Electoral Commission cede its authority to SFC? Petition is demanding a review of the process thus far and reconsideration of the same, and approve submitted signatures and issue a certificate of clearance to myself, who was inhibited from nomination by the conduct of the officials at the commission, an extension of the timeline to nominate myself, and a conduct of verification of signatures submitted in a transparent manner reflective of a legitimate, free and fair and just process. So I have not said yet that I'm not going to be on the ballot. That's what EC has said. But this is what we are petitioning over, because we have to fight this. We cannot let electoral, because if we actually shut up and let SFC take over signature verification, then who is going to be in charge of the actual election? Is it going to be Electoral Commission or other people? So this is why we have come up with this petition.